Good morning. It snowed again this week. There's actually a weekend that I couldn't get out in between last episode and this episode, and that weekend was about 40 degrees, fairly nice around here. No snow on the ground. A lot of tan landscape from it being winter, but it snowed yesterday. Of course, that being a weekday, I was working on the full-time job and being tortured by seeing all the gorgeous snowfall coming down that I really wanted to be out photographing in, but couldn't do it. So I decided to push myself to get out today and try to go to a location where I think there might be a shot. There might be a photograph to be made here. A couple things we're gonna change up going forward is I'm quite frankly running out of places near me in Missouri to photograph. So last episode was the last episode of photographing Missouri for a while. We're gonna try to do some topical stuff, and you'll probably see some locations that I've been to in the past year being used in those topics. It's cold today, so I'm layered up. I'm actually cold too, that's the scary thing. So I think I got about a mile walk back to the subject that I'm looking for. Hopefully there's still some snow on the branches. But the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about today is what I call EPDS, or EPDS, short for Epic Photography Depression Syndrome. I get that a lot this time of year, mainly because I live in what's considered a plain state. While there are some epic locations in Missouri and in Kansas as well, which is nearby, just across the river from where we live actually, it's kind of hard to plan trips around weather that would be really cool to have in those epic shots. So I kind of go through a photographic depression this time of year. Hopefully by doing videos for everybody, that'll help force me to get out and kind of break up that depression, if you will. A couple of years ago, I was able to break it up by taking my camera bag with me on my way into the office. And what I would do is I would photograph the city skyline in different light, different weather conditions. I'd use the city skyline pretty much as if it was a local mountain range, man-made of course. But I got some really good photographs of the skyline. Did really good at some art fairs with them when I was showing. Today, it's about breaking that EPDS, or Epic Photography Depression Syndrome, for me. So let's see what we can find out here. Worst case scenario, I get in a good hike and get out of the house, because it's been a few weeks. Just not sure. Part of the conditions that I wanted to make this photograph are here. Part of them aren't. And I know that it's no fault of my own. I mean, I can't control the weather. I can't control when I'm able to get out. I think that's part of the reason why I started calling it Epic Photography Depression Syndrome. There's a photograph here. The question is it here today? I don't think it really is. But I think I'm going to work the area shoot off a few frames, and see if I can make a photograph with what I've got. Because what I've got is close to what I wanted. I've got some snow on the limbs of the trees. I was hoping for a little bit more break in the cloud layer in the sky, but that's just not going to happen. Not until later this afternoon. It's an issue of time. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm a little bummed about the photography, but it is great just getting out of the house and going for a walk. And I know that a lot of people can't do that right now. So I'm going to at least enjoy that. At this point, I don't see anything that's going to be portfolio worthy or anything that I think would be a great photograph. That's part of the problem. I lack the motivation to get out and to be able to get out when I need to get out to do what I want to do and what I want to make from a photography standpoint. This time of year is tough, especially where I'm at. And I know that there are some others out there that have been suffering from the same thing, trying to figure out what to do. Now, I know that if Shelly was with me on this little hike, she probably would have found some nice little intimate scenes to already photograph. So maybe what I'll do is I'll try to look for an intimate scene that does make a compelling photo. I think that's part of my problem. I always want the big, the epic. Instead, this time of year, probably focusing on an intimate scene, especially when the weather isn't cooperating and I can't get out when it would be the type of weather that I'm looking for the photograph that I want to make. Maybe that's the trick. So I think I found a couple of compositions. Part of the problem that I'm having is the snow is only sticking to the northwest facing side of the tree. And that was where the prevalent winds were coming from all day yesterday. We had some gale force winds. Farther north in Missouri, we actually had whiteout and blizzard conditions where they closed down most of the interstates to travel. So I know it got really bad out in the rural areas. So like I said, the snow is only sticking to that windward facing side of the tree. You get on the leeward side and there's no snow. It's just the bark. So I've walked down the hill off of the access road, which is not open to the public to use. It's more of a hiking trail for everybody else. And I started walking around these bur oaks. I got in tight on some of them. We'll see how they turn out. I feel a little bit better about the photography. And then I got down here and I noticed a bur oak way off in the distance. It's probably on the bluff just before you descend down to the Platte River here. And it really caught my eye because of all that snow on the windward side of the tree. And then the dark background of the woods. And also it's got this really cool foreground of that golden prairie grass that we get around here. So I'll make a nice photograph. So what started out as a morning of me fighting with myself to get out, load up my gear, brush the truck off of snow, and go out and try to make a photograph that I thought would be there. Hearing that little voice in the back of my head going, it's not there, it's not worth the time, it's not worth the effort. Well, I still don't know if that voice was right or if it was totally worth the effort. I can tell you this. My epic photography depression syndrome has been alleviated, at least for now. I got out, walked well over a mile, got into some gorgeous open space where there's nobody else around me, and enjoyed the walk. I may have made some photographs. I'm hoping I made some photographs. I know I took some images. I know I talked about taking images and what I was looking for, but I'm not sure yet. What I do know is we got a little bit of light popping off behind us here. The clouds are breaking up just a little bit, so I fired up a time lapse. I'm getting cold, I'm getting hungry, and it's definitely time to follow my tummy home for lunch. I can't believe I've been out this long. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you have already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys put me over the 100 subscribers mark, and I greatly appreciate it. If you like the content that I'm doing and you haven't yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. It would really help me out a lot. It helps motivate me to talk more about my photography and photography in general, which is what we're going to be covering in the next bunch of videos, because for the foreseeable future, Shelly and I don't have a trip planned, and I really want to stay close to home for a lot of reasons. And thanks again for watching.